Hi, I'm Jim Shovelton. I'm the consultant, agricultural consultant for this program. I'm here at the Marriott property east of Benalla, and I'd like to introduce to you Andrew Marriott to talk about his farm and talk about the people involved in the farm.
Yes, I'm Andrew Marriott, and my wife Jane and son Mark. And we all run the family farm here at Benalla. It's predominantly a beef cattle enterprise. We breed the cattle and then fatten them, usually on grass.
Andrew, can you talk about the paddocks that we selected for the trial? Talk a little bit about, I guess, what the composition was like, and talk a little bit about the stock numbers that were run and how they've been managed, throughout the year.
Well, we hadn't tested the property since we bought it. I was aware that the previous owner hadn't used much phosphorus the last couple of years, so since we bought the place we had given it 2 applications of about 200 kilos of single super, and we'd oversown a few pastures just with annual ryegrasses just to bulk them up.
Andrew, could you give us a bit more detail about the soil types that you have on the property and the pasture types that you've got?
Caldwell of 64 average, which was quite a bit higher than what we thought. So for the trial, it was suggested that we don't use any phosphorus, as that was adequate, but they were both fairly low for pH, I think about 4.5, 4.6 from memory.
Andrew, one of the challenges we have with this exercise is to make sure we've got comparable paddocks, and the grid sample paddock, for whatever historical reasons, ended up with a lot more silvergrass this year, and so that was the reason that we decided to mob stock it with the sheep to try and reduce that silvergrass component and allow the ryegrass to come through.
As I said, the paddocks were much the same soil type with the same pasture species, but the only difference being that one paddock was oversown with ryegrass the year before. It was just an annual and it was all gone, but the initial stages of this year, it did seem to respond a bit better than the other one, probably just with the tickle up, the Wimmer ryegrass was activated and it came a bit stronger. So that probably created a little bit of a variable, sort of not making them exactly the same. We did we stocked them in early May, and they were only stocked lightly through the summer. We waited till the cows had calved, and then we stocked both paddocks at a cow and calf to the hectare. So they were comparably stocked, and that stayed the same through until I think about early July, when you came and did a test on how much pasture we had in each paddock, and that went along quite well. We weren't supplementing the cows, and the calves were gaining plenty of weight, and the cows were fat all winter, and that worked pretty well until probably the end of September. We just noticed that the paddock that had been tested was starting to get a little bit shorter, and it wasn't looking as though we were going to get a big bulk of rye setting seed. It was sort of a bit short, and coming into the spring.
Thanks very much for that rundown, Andrew, and thanks also to Mark and Jane for being involved with this. It's great to have really good cooperators and people that are keen to work on this project and just to see if and when how we can make this whole system work.
Proudly supported by the Gecko Clan Network, Meridian Agriculture, Agriculture Victoria and the Australian Government.